Welcome back to another episode of Platt365. We are excited about this week's episode because we're going to show you about trenching the primary electrical. What is that, Lisa?
Trenching the primary electrical is getting from the connection to the main electrical grid, like down on a street typically, and bringing that up to within 200 feet of your residence.
Right, so there's trenching and there's power conduit and all sorts of stuff. Hope you enjoy this episode, and yeah, I think we're getting closer as we speak. As we stand here, the house is being built right over there.
Yep.
So pretty exciting. Right behind us we've got the excavator pulling stumps, right?
Yes.
How cool is this?
Awesome.
Right. So we're gonna go chat with him. We've put a little spray painted how many of these stumps we want pulled. I tried pulling some of these stumps. I got the little ones, but the big ones I just couldn't get with the excavator. So pretty exciting.
Yes.
You wanna go check it out?
Yes.
All right. Wow. All right, Ashley, what did you think of that?
That was so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I thought that was the coolest thing. Let me catch you up on where we are. We've not filmed for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. Been shooting some videos here and there, but as soon as this coronavirus hit, our work got really busy for some weird reason. I don't understand the correlation, but we've been actually doing our normal job very busy. And in the meantime, Lisa has taken over as project manager on all this crazy stuff on the property and has been hiring out things, which is great. My ability to work a bulldozer, my ability to work an excavator is very limited, not very good at it. And so we've found a crew to do a ton of work. And while I've been running around doing what I do, measuring buildings and the whole architecture thing, she's been having these guys pull stumps and fix the road, and it's been awesome. We're now at a point where we're about to put water, power, and sewer, actually not in that order. It's power, then water, then sewer, I think. I don't know. She's been doing all this, which is great. On Thursday, so today is a Tuesday, and so in 2 days I'm going to be able to start trenching from over on this side of the property. Over here is where the power is coming from. We had to get easements. We had to go through a company called Penn Light, which is the power company here, and we had to go through the county, Pierce County. Today I'm going to be working the little mini excavator here and pushing all of these stumps out into the forest, because they're kind of right in the way. And the guys asked me if they wanted to do it. I said, no, I'll do that, something I can do, so that'll be fun. But yeah, the excavator they had up here was crazy big and was able to just rip these things right out of the ground. I tried to do this with the little excavator. As you can see, these stumps are about as big as that excavator. So laws of physics say that was never going to happen. Or maybe it could with a more experienced operator. I'm just not that guy. Down the hill over here is where the septic's going to be, and we have bids out for the septic. We've had bids come back. We're still waiting on a company. We know who we're going to use for the well, and he's going to be drilling the well right over here. So water, power, sewer, and we submitted the construction documents for the house. Lisa did, of course, and that went into the county, and there's been some back and forth about water management, stormwater management. So we're going through that process right now. So that kind of catches you up. Kind of a lot's been happening, but with the coronavirus, it was tough to like get people out here, and I get it. I understand why. We're just kind of trying to be as flexible as possible. Well, that was interesting. We just had a hose break here. Actually, it didn't break as much as come loose. Caught this on a stump and it pulled that guy out. Had somebody come up and help me out, tighten it up, and we're good to go. So apparently these things can pull loose, and then hydraulic fluid shoots everywhere. This stake here is where the power is going to come into the house. And it looks like she has another stake right there. And this is where the power is going to come from. All the way out there, I don't know if you can see that big cedar tree, but that cedar tree is kind of where it turns to go downhill and to the primary power. So this is all secondary power is what they call it, that we're going to walk along right here. And the secondary power, you get 200 feet. So we're 200 feet to the transformer. Oh, and I see the stake that she put there. And that's where the transformer is going to go. The transformer, from the transformer to the original power source, is what they call the primary. So the primary is what I'm digging today. It has to be 42 inches deep, 36 inches wide, and it cannot zigzag. It can't have like 90-degree angles. It can't go around stumps. So I'm standing right where the transformer is. I need to go right at that cedar tree. As you can see right away, I got a stump. So I'm gonna walk through this and try and figure out how to get through this without coming across roots and stumps. That's the project for this morning. Once I find that path of least resistance, I'm gonna take the excavator and start digging. So I have a feeling I'm gonna come across a lot of stumps though. So as I was trying to find my way through, I don't know if you can see, but I stumbled on a little baby fawn. The mother was like right there, and I'm like, oh, she'll move. They're behind a tree now. But I think the baby fawn was just hunkered down while the mom was like, you can see right through the woods there. And I almost stepped on the fawn. The fawn bolts and the mom comes towards me. And I was like, sorry. But the fawn took off and it was good. But there's usually more than one. So I need to be careful in here. I don't want to step on a deer. That would be weird. All right, well, I'll take it slowly and hopefully don't come across any more little baby deer. Also known as a fawn. Cute little white dots, just like Bambi. After going up and down that hill, I don't know, 5 times to figure out the line for when the power is coming, what I've discovered is that this is pretty much our line. So there's these stumps here. These are big stumps. I've tried pulling stumps with the little excavator and I kind of understand the size that I can pull. And these are too big. But we have this really nice topo line here. I'm gonna come down from the house and the transformer's pretty much gonna be right there. And the primary line's gonna come all the way down here around these stumps. You can do a soft curve and then down, and I've spotted the tree I need to go into the woods. It's pretty much that tree right there. And I'm gonna go in and I've got 2 or 3 little tiny trees that need to come down and then into the actual vault is what they call it. It's gonna do a bit of an S curve, not just very subtle curve. I like straight lines more than most, but these stumps I've got to get around. I can't zigzag, but I can do a soft curve. So that's what's going on. I've got Lisa coming out to give us the final thumbs up. She's done all the research on this, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. I've got 2 stumps, one small, one not so small. And that's pretty good for all these stumps out here. To only have to pull 2 stumps for this, I'm pretty happy with that. Once I get down into that property, I'll have to cut 2 or 3 trees down, just little baby, we call them trash trees or pulp trees. Cut those down, pull those stumps, and then go right through. So an ounce of prevention, right, is a pound of, I don't know how the saying goes. We call this the bald eagle tree because the bald eagles like to hang out here. In fact, while I was standing here, the bald eagle was like eyeballing me. Out here today, day 2, and I'm about halfway there. So figure by the end of today, I'll have this whole thing trenched out and we'll be able to start laying the power line, which the power company does. Trenching is not hard. It just takes, you know, you got to measure it, make sure you got the right, because you don't want to have to come back and re-dig this. I did notice this is where the transformer is going to go. It has to be 5 feet by 5 feet by 42 inches. And I don't know if you can tell, it's not very rectangular. So I'll have to come back and actually dig this out a little better, which is fine. The funny part is, as I make it down this hill, I'm gonna get to the vault, which is at the bottom of the hill, and then I'm gonna have to track all the way around and back up the road and around and back up in order to get back up here. But it's better to do that than to try to find another way to come up that hill, because the hill's a little treacherous. The path that we chose is probably the least treacherous path, but there is one spot that's kind of steep, so I'll be working on that today. Kids will be here later, and they've been working on this garden here. As I walk past it, I'll show you. So they planted corn and tomatoes and some sort of lettuce, and the deer have only eaten a little bit of it. They're pretty much letting it grow. There's so much for the deer to eat out here. Today is day 3 on the trenching project. So you can see behind me, we're pretty much at the bottom of the hill. And now I'm going to be going over and trenching over towards where they're going to put a well. Our adjacent property has a homeowners association, and they're going to set up a well for like 30 houses. So I offered to trench over here to get some power to where their new well is going to be. Right behind me in this direction is what they call the vault. That's where the power's coming from. And up the hill and kind of up and around is where the house is going. So have an easement through the HOA, an easement through the person's property here where the well's going to go. And in order for the whole deal to work, I'm going to help them out and put a trench here. So I'm only a couple minutes, I don't know, 20 feet from finishing, and I ended up snagging this. That's a water line. So I went to Home Depot, I picked up a plug, clamps, so I'm gonna now attempt to plug this thing with the water still flowing. I take this plug, shove it in the end, well, these clamps, and clamp it down, and then hopefully I can keep digging. Let me get them nice and snug. Here goes nothing. This feels like such a bad idea. Maybe I can pink it. Ah! Look, it's too big. The wrong size. Keeping it. This is not the right size. What if I... Where's the screwdriver? Seriously. Look at the screwdriver. not a permanent solution, but I think it's going to work for now. So I'm back out on the property, down at the base by the vault where I caught a water line. And I purchased the wrong size cap, or at least I thought it was the wrong size cap because it wouldn't fit on. After I go into Home Depot, I bought a couple more options. And the one that's most intriguing to me is this guy. So it fits on the end, but the fact that I can just pull it off like that, I don't think it's gonna work. It's got these little teeth in here. Let's see if it works. This did not work. Well, I guess that's bad news. Good news is, I was at Home Depot. This is what I had before. I bought the size smaller, and that actually worked. So there it is, right there, with 2 hose clamps. The bad news is, you can see here where I had pinched this to like keep the water from coming out. It's now cracked. So I'm going to take my knife, cut this off about here, and do the whole thing again. Well, I had to work fast on that because it sprung a leak where I bent the pipe to kind of kink the hose, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I cut the pipe off where there was a problem, where I created the problem. And then I had to cut below that, and the whole time I had water gushing out. The moral is just turn the water off. I don't really have access to the water shut off, so I made it work. I've got a little cap on here. The other lesson is buy extra parts at Home Depot. So I bought a size down and put that on there, and then used 2 hose clamps, and that's doing the trick. I didn't feel real confident in the temporary patch I put on there. So now that that's done, today's Saturday, and on Monday they're going to come and run the conduit through the trench I dug. So pretty excited about that. While I'm out here, I think I might measure how far it is, because I think it'd be a good idea to put some conduit in here myself, so we could eventually run some high-speed internet, which would be nice, maybe. All right, I think that's just about it for today. Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode. We will be back next week with an episode. We're taking a little bit of a break on the property. We're going to talk a little bit about repairing an RV, because we have been living in our RV while building the house. So yeah, that's next week. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, comments below, all that stuff, and we'll see you next week.